What if we were all the same? Sounds ideal at first, right? There would be no racism, no competition. Essentially, there would be no fighting. That is the world that young Jonas has grown up in. Jonas has lived the past 11 years in a society that is completely void of all pain and suffering. But what happens after the events of Jonas's 12th birthday will change the course of his life forever. Giver begins with young Jonas worrying away about the ceremony of 12. As part of their utopian society, Jonas's community assigns jobs to all the 12-year-old children, jobs of which they will work for the remainder of their lives. Instead of being given an ordinary, mundane job, Jonas's life takes a turn when he is chosen to become the next receiver of memory. Because Jonas's community has been wiped of all pain and suffering, so have the people's memories. Only one person in the community, the receiver of memory, is allowed to have memories of their previous ways of life. Those memories are then passed down from receiver to receiver. It is during his job training that Jonas meets the giver, who is the previous receiver of memory. As Jonas begins to receive memories of the past and he and the giver grow closer, Jonas must face the realities of his seemingly perfect society and make the biggest decisions of his life. The Giver is a fantasy dystopian novel that is presumably set in the future. We can infer that it is a fantasy work because we obviously do not live in a world where we are all the same and do not remember a time when we were not that way. Fantasy books are those that include settings and situations that are beyond ourselves or could not happen in the natural world. Realistic fantasy is a subgenre of fantasy and combines magical elements with those found in real life. Fantasy and realistic fantasy novels have become extremely popular with young readers. Other notable titles in this genre are the Hunger Games and Twilight series. The Giver was written by Lois Lowry and published in 1993. Following its publication, the most notable critique given was that the Giver had a storyline that had been told before. The main character finding out that his or her life is not what it seems, then proceeding to change it. This common fictional story type follows the trope of the quest that has been told time and time again. Otherwise, The Giver is considered to be one of the best books for young people of all time. The Giver forces young people to think and consider their places in society. It shows them that life is worth living with its good and its bad parts without editing anything out. Lois Lowry's The Giver was awarded the John Newbery Medal in 1994. The Newbery Medal Award was first awarded in 1992 to the most distinguished children's literature of that year. The creation of the award was to honor John Newbery, who was an English bookseller who encouraged the publication of children's books. Therefore, it is appropriate that an award for exceptional children's literature be named after him. The Newbery Medal Award brings to mind that children's books are important parts of literature who deserve recognition, just like books for older readers. Parents, do you want your children to think freely and open their minds? If so, then this is the book for them. Jonas's tenacious spirit and desire to change his world will resonate with them greatly. There are themes in this book that will cause children to think critically about how their unique opinions and personalities are what make them so special. The Giver has been unanimously loved for over 20 years and is no